Okay, so this is different from my usual uploads, but don't worry, more reviews are coming out soon. It's just I gotta wait for them to come into the mail. There is a gentleman's thing. I'm just waiting until after this comes up. Just waiting a few days after this to see how it does. But I will be uploading that. Second off, I apologize if there's an echo. This is at the new house and all that stuff that I mentioned in the previous video. So there might be a little bit of an echo. I'm sorry for that. And third thing, make sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to be discussing a few things at the end of this. Last of the Grads was a film released in around April to May of 2021. This was a horror slasher, and I believe it also went under thriller, but I have no idea. It clocks in around 2 hours, and it was quite the thing to sit through. Now, I had originally watched about 30 minutes of it, but then got bored of it. That's my own fault. I had other stuff going on at the time, studies and all that stuff for school. And then over about a week ago, I guess a week ago, starting now, I rewatched it in its entirety. And now I'm ready to give the no spoiler review on this. The first major thing I have to discuss is definitely the effects. The effects in the film are amazing. I will show an image of like the company who did the effects, but they deserve every penny that they were paid and probably way more. The effects for all the kills and, in general, they look amazing. Like, Critical, he's already talked about this, Charlie, he's the reason why I pre-ordered the film, he's the reason why it's on the channel. He has one of the coolest deaths I've ever seen in a while, due to the fact that it's all practical, and it just looks so gory and amazing. If you are a gore hound like me, you will enjoy the heck out of this film. But one of my least favorite parts of the film, I think, has to be somewhat of the story, due to the fact that it seems kind of all over the place. Like, they had people were writing multiple stories and then decided to mash them all together. Like, there's this, supposed to be this, like, mystery, like, who could be the killer kind of thing, I guess you could say. Plot twist or whatever. But there's also, like, somewhat trying to be a supernatural thing, which, I mean, I'll get into Supernatural in a minute. Supernatural is not the show Supernatural. I haven't watched that show at all. They also try to do this whole entire thing about, like, the main character having a dead mom, and that's supposed to impact it somehow. I don't really know how it's supposed to. It also seems like with some of the characters, they were written to have, like, their own story about them. And I didn't mind that. It just seems like it went nowhere. Like, they only had a few scenes. They seemed like they could actually have some good character development. But it went nowhere, and they just got. You know what I mean? Another major thing I didn't really like about this film was just, the main character. I wouldn't say I hated her, it's just I feel like there was other people we could go off of. Like I said, she has this whole entire thing about this whole entire dead mom, but it goes nowhere. And the ending scene of this film, it's not really much of a spoiler. She goes off to college, and she's holding this pendant, I guess, in her hand or whatever. She's just, like, messing with it. It's supposed to be, like, from her friend, it's one of those torn in half heart things, that you see them always have. But she starts to bleed for no reason, and that's just the ending of the film. She's just driving off to college or whatever. The whole entire film's supposed to take place in one night. It's supposed to be a lock-in or whatever, and then this killer comes to the campus or whatever. You know what I mean? But it just seems like they were trying to try to spoof, like, a sequel or whatever, try to give, like, a mysterious ending to it. But it just makes no sense for the film. Because really, they try to do this whole entire supernatural thing or whatever. Like, there was supposed to be this, like, symbol or whatever, this cult thing going on. But really, it just makes no sense. It just makes no sense for the film. Like, it should just be a slasher. And the reason why I actually like this film, and I should recommend you guys go see it, is just a solid return to slasher and horror films. It's just, it's like, it basically embodies a slasher, not the best writing, not the best acting, but, I mean, characters get got in very memorable ways. Like, there's a scene, Charlie already talked about it, his character, Officer Greg, which I have to say, there's 3 characters I like in the film, and 2 of them are YouTubers, so, Charlie, Critical, Penguin Zero, he plays Officer Greg and whatever, and he's in a decent amount of scenes. He has probably some of the best lines and the most critical sounding lines in the film. But at the end, not at the end of him in the story, I guess you could say, he
gets out of his cop car after doing what we saw in the trailer of it, him doing this emotional, self-talk or whatever, I guess you could say. He gets out and he gets got very easily. He gets got. They slash his Achilles heel and he just gets stomps. He was probably like my second favorite character, I guess you could say. It's kind of a tie between them two. But, it's just like a solid return to slashers, I would think. And nowadays people are trying to make, a movie about like a message or whatever. And I just remember the old days where it's just like it didn't have to have a message, it's just about, people getting killed and having a cool looking killer. And I wouldn't say the killer looks bad. It's just I feel like they could have done more because they have the mask for him, but then he's just like pulling an M&M and just wearing sweats. So, but besides that, I think like to round out this review, it's a really good film if you are just there to be a gore hound like me and or just wanting to turn your brain off for a few hours. It's just like a classic movie. Just grab a couple friends, after, if y'all are vaccinated or whatever and y'all aren't sick, grab a couple friends, watch this film. You could probably get high and or drunk to this film. I have no idea. I wouldn't know. And make sure to enjoy it. I'll, of course, link it down below for you to go rent this film. It's like $6 to $7, and it's worth it. To end this, let's give it a ranking of 4 out of 5. See y'all.
Thank you all for listening to this review of Last of the Grads. A few quick announcements. I just got notified that the Philip DeFranco is on its way. It's being shipped. I was in the dark about the whole entire thing, but I literally got notified last night about it. It should be on its way. Second thing, we will be having our Pride episode soon. That one's being filmed as soon as it gets here. I bought some cloak merchandise, which 10% of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project. I'm really happy about that. It should be coming in the next few days. Third thing, make sure to go watch the film. This was a no spoiler review for a reason. Go and watch the film. It's down below. It's like $7 to $8 to rent, and it is. Even though I trash on the writing a little bit, like I said, it's just a movie that you can just sit down and watch. Also, expect, like I said, the Gentleman review coming out in a few days. Wait like 5 days because I really wanted to get this one out first to see how it does. Thank you all for watching. Twitch, Twitter down below. You know the thing, the playlist for the review. I will be playing this in the merchandise review one because, it's still technically, it has a YouTuber in it, but, go check that out. The Oompaville video is doing immensely well. We're nearly near we're like at like 60 views, I think. And also the Johnny Charisma video had 69 views, but now it's at like 72. So I'm happy about that. Make sure to do the things. Have a great day. Make sure not to die. I'm telling you this after I reviewed a movie that has plenty of die in it. Make sure not to die. And remember to be cool, I guess.